can't believe I'm speaking to Ciara.
It's amazing how powerful the tongue is. People weren't understanding why I was who I was to that point.
So I did my research. Girl.
You pay attention. Come on. Songs like Promise, I was told that was the worst R&B record.
What?
Yeah.
Pause. Hey guys, it's Mimi, the music blogger, and you are watching my YouTube channel. That's kind of scary to say that. Woo! Make some noise! Ah! So this is Thank You. I'm gonna sit down with the one and only Ciara. Yes, Ciara. So we're gonna be chopping that up. We're gonna talk about music, relationship, God, and all of that good stuff. Then I got a playlist for you guys, and my playlist is called Cuts Over Charts. So me and Ciara are gonna talk about our favorite album cut from my album, put it on my playlist, keep it cute, keep it sweet, and obviously I have a special guest, and she's gonna ask a specific question to Ciara. A part of my Thank You series on TikTok, so better like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. TikTok, YouTube, and let's go. So guys, I'm with the lovely, lovely Ciara. Hey.
Hi, Mimi.
Hi, CiCi. Okay, before anything, let's do a cheers.
Okay. I'm excited for this.
There you go.
Did you make this drink?
No.
I brought drinks for you and you brought drinks for me.
And we just made it together.
Okay, yes, so we got cheers.
Okay,
Salud.
so, salud. But I got a quick speech before we drink. Okay, you want to drink? You can drink, honey.
I have been wanting to sip this all day.
It's smooth, guys. Her drink is really, really smooth. Goes down really well. Let's talk about it.
This is good.
So Ciara,
Yes.
a Grammy-winning artist, platinum hitmaker, dancer, model, mum, businesswoman, and a culture icon. You changed my life when I actually witnessed goodies. Me and my cousins, my little sisters, was thinking, who is that? Why is she? Hello? Oh. And you oversold 23 million records worldwide, inspired many, many black girls around the world, and I can't believe I'm speaking to Ciara. How are you?
First of all, thank you so much for that. That was so sweet. You know, I feel so blessed, but it never gets old to feel the love. So thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be here with you because you have such great energy. I love watching your clips online. So
What? Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh, wow,
so I'm
CiCi.
happy to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. I watch you all my life.
That's so sweet.
So,
Shout out to you and your sister too, you said.
yeah, my sister Ketsia and Karen.
What's her name?
Ketsia
Kitsia.
and Karen.
And Karen, your
Yeah.
sister.
Yes, my sisters. So first things first,
Yes.
I feel like the art of showmanship, you have the legends, MJ, Janet, you, James Brown. The way showmanship is so important of me growing up, seeing it throughout my whole life, and seeing you always kind of still dedicate that, even when you're going on tour, like you still have the art of showmanship still.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's really important, you know, because when I'm on the stage, that's a true expression of my art, right? And being on the stage is one of my favorite places to be because I get to, one, perform, which I love doing. I get to jam out, but I get to connect with my fans.
Yeah.
And my fans push me. You know, they're always wanting something fresh and something new. I'm also craving something fresh and something new. So it's just everything to me. You know, I studied artists coming up. I studied artists like Michael and Janet and Madonna and Prince.
Yeah.
You know, true icons and what made them special and what did they do that, you know, really made them stand out on stages? All those details mattered to me. I kind of only knew one way of entertainment coming up, and so it's important to me that I put that same type of energy on the stage out for my fans, right? Otherwise, what am I doing it for? Showmanship is important to me. That's a very critical component of my art.
Yes.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
What performance would you say when you were younger, you're thinking, wow, I need to do this?
Michael Jackson performing Off the Wall, him and Billie Jean. I remember him walking on the white squares in the video and the light up of the squares in the video. And I remember watching him smile, and his smile made me feel something different. It made me feel like that's what I'm gonna do. Something about it. It was a very, very distinctive moment. I was in my living room in Decatur, Georgia, no lie. And I watched him on that video, and I remember smiling so big, and I felt something different through the screen. And I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a distinctive moment for me. Yeah.
I like that. I actually like that a lot. Would you say the Motown performance? I remember when he did the moonwalk for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Well, I wasn't there.
Motown 25th anniversary.
Yeah, and I was like, how did everyone maintain their excitement? Because I think I'll be throwing a shoe like, oh my gosh, no, stop that, no.
Throw that
So
shoe.
Michael Jackson, I can agree with you as well.
Yeah, special.
Yeah, really, really special. And seeing you combine like R&B and crunk music, because you're the princess of crunk, honey. Yep. Do you feel like in a way it was kind of boxed in your early careers, being associated like with, oh, Ciara can't get R&B, that's it?
Well, I think it was very important to me. One, I felt very proud to be like leading in that new sound as a female artist with Crunk and B. That was a special sound that was birthed from Lil Jon, an artist like myself. But it was important to me, as I was developing my identity in front of the world and the world was getting to know me, I did not want to be boxed into like one category. So I at times found myself in interviews saying, okay, I'm not the queen of crunk and B because I'm like, it's just one sound and it's not my only sound.
Yeah.
So that was important to me. But they would say the first lady of crunk and B, and it was really cute though. You know, again, a very special moment in music when that sound was discovered. And so I feel so proud. You know, it's nothing better than being, I'd say, ahead of the curve or being able to be one of the first ones to do something. And so Lil Jon and I made something very magical. I knew that Goodies was the record that was going to be the perfect song to introduce me to the world.
Okay, pause. I feel like you have one of the best debuts. Like, I feel like that era, I feel like people that generally wants to get into music say, okay, how can I create a debut? Like, this is me. Goodies, 10 out of 10.
Thank
For
you
me,
so
like 100%.
much.
So I feel like you don't really get enough credit with how
Yeah, that was a special time.
it was. What was your special moment?
Special moment, riding in the car at the drive-thru, hearing my song come on the radio for the first time.
How does that feel?
My eyes watered. I had tears, I had goosebumps. I was just leaving rehearsals. It's funny because I have mommy brain, and when you meet so many people and do so many things in life, it's hard to remember everything, but I remember I had like a little baseball cap on, my gloves. I just left rehearsals. I remember like hearing my song and my eyes watered with joy. Well, my heart was filled with joy. So I'll never forget that. That was pretty special. And then I think about performing on 106 in Park.
Oh, I remember, I love that.
That was my first live television performance, and that was very big for me. I was very nervous. The world was going so fast.
Is that the one where it was like, go CiCi, and you was like,
Yes, yes,
I know,
yes.
I know, I studied that one.
That was
Yeah.
a moment. You know, the funny thing about my career that's really interesting when I reflect on the journey is that I was always raw from the gate.
Yep.
So I was never trained to sing and dance. Like, I was never trained to do what I did. I just had a gift to do it, and I knew that I had something special in my gift. And so a lot of my training was like home training, like in the house dancing with my dad. My dad teaching me how to do my footwork. He taught me.
Oh, is he?
You know, and then when I first said hi to the world, I hadn't had that many performances under my belt. So a lot of my experimentation and me experimenting throughout my journey, a lot of my first times were in front of the world. So there was first times of success, there were first times of failures, there was first times of discoveries, there was, you know, first times of growth. For me, a lot of my career has been that. So everything from the beginning, I've pretty much been doing in front of the world. I didn't do many showcases before I was discovered. You know, it's very interesting, like the power of the tongue. And the power of envisioning things. Like literally when I said, this is what I want to do at 13, 14 years old, that time frame, I wrote down on a goal sheet the goals I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to get discovered. I wanted to sell 4 million albums, ended up selling 5. And then I said I want to have longevity. Those were my 3 goals.
And you did
but
it.
I literally wrote it down, and 2 weeks after that I got asked to audition for a group. So like, it's just so powerful. Like, it's amazing how like powerful the tongue is. I say when you speak, you have a chance to tell your life story. So when you speak, say great things, right? So it's just kind of amazing that literally I went from my living room to the stage in front of the world for the most part, you know? And so it's been an incredible journey growing in front of the world and just figuring it all out and not getting it right all the time, but still being encouraged and motivated, and most importantly because of my fans, so yeah.
I feel like it's a good story of like, faith is actually a mustard seed.
Oh yeah,
like,
the size of a mustard seed. You can move mountains.
Hallelujah, hallelujah,
Yes.
hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And even you mentioned that your dad's basically trained you with your footwork. I feel like in a way, God in his way kind of like mentally prepared you for that moment. Because you know how people are like, oh, I can't perform in front of the whole world. What the hell? Like, in a way, he kind of prepared you for that moment. Even you having that faith, writing it down, kind of like manifest through God. You didn't even realize.
Yeah, I think I definitely discovered for the first time in my life the power of what manifestation is. In the Bible, it says there's life and death in the tongue, right? This is really important. Right? I learned that early. The things that I say, the way that I think, the way that I speak, like how that pours into my universe. And so I have to remind myself that. And to be honest with you guys, that's how I live.
You have to.
You know, I don't get it right all the time. You know, I definitely fall on my face sometimes, but like you said, the faith, the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. So I always hold on to my faith. The little bit sometimes that I feel like I have in a moment, I hold on to it because it really has carried me far. But yes, I do think like there's no perfect way to achieving your goals. I think we have to all remember that, because sometimes you look at people and you aspire to be what you see or where you think they are. You have no idea where they are in their journey. It may look really pretty, but you just focus on you.
I'm trying.
Keep your faith.
Oof.
Yeah, trust the process for you and like run your own race at your own pace. Everything you're supposed to get is going to come for you at the perfect time for you. So I think that's like something I have to remind myself of, and that's what allows me to stay like grounded and just to be patient in the process. But you got to keep your faith. Above all things, keep your faith.
I feel like with that mentality kind of reminds me of like you being humble and actually sticking it on your own lane, not really see anyone's like, oh, I don't mind, just focusing on you. In a way, it's kind of like a mentor. And people don't give you enough credit, because the first time I actually seen, for example, Frank Ocean was in your Ustream.
Okay, Lonnie Bro Jr., right? Lonnie Bro's in the house. Lonnie Bro Jr.
That is hilarious.
Say hi.
What up, what up?
So Lonnie Bro is Tricky's new artist, and he be doing his thing. Right now in the background, I don't know if you can hear it, but he's playing one of his songs from his new mixtape. What's your mixtape called?
It's called Trip Tape.
Trip Tape. Lonnie Bro, so far I've been hearing some records, and he's feeling like he's the truth.
Come on.
And I feel like you don't get enough credit for that.
Talk about it.
You,
That's
girl,
right, that's
yeah,
right.
no, it's the truth.
He was called Lonnie Bro back then. I used to carry his CD around in my car. And I'm like, this guy, Lonnie Bro, is going to be like the next thing, because that was his name at first. And we used to hang out in the studio.
Yeah, I remember I actually watched that Ustream of that. Like, you don't get enough credit for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I did my research, girl.
You pay attention.
I-
Come on. Come on.
And even Tiffany Evans' Promise Rings. That is, oh, girl, all my crushes, I've been singing that song.
That's so funny.
You always kind of grace yourself in that lane, in the sense of that no one can really kind of say that you're a mean girl or anything else with that, because you always actually give flowers and you receive your flowers. I wish you received more, in my own opinion, because you actually done a lot.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
Oh, thank you, Queen. And even with Megan Thee Stallion coming in Coachella, how was that as well?
Oh, that was really fun.
That was great. Like,
Yeah, that was a good time. She's been doing such a great job as an artist with her creative direction and her growth and her evolution, coming from, from Texas and, having her style of hip hop. She asked me about using my sample. She actually been kind of like talking about my sample for like a year, almost 2 years before she asked me to use it. But that was so fun. The energy was insane.
the crowd was eating it up.
Yeah, Coachella is always a special place to perform in. But it's always cool when you get to feel the love from the new generation of artists. Like, it makes me feel very proud, very, very, very proud to feel the love and people wanting to continue on the music that I put out and give some new life to it. It also is cool how music marks time, but also music is timeless. You get to see that through those experiences, so it's sweet.
What was your thoughts when she called you, like, oh, I want you to come on stage?
My creative director, Jamaica, and her creative director, Jaquel Knight, were talking about it. Jaquel had reached out to her and was saying Meg has this vision, and I was like, oh, count me in. Jamaica let me know, and so it was super organic and easy, and then When I saw her in the rehearsal hall, she was so sweet about it. You know, she had a nice presentation she sent over to me with a nice letter. I just loved everything, how she was running that. You know, she's an independent artist.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know what that's like because I have my own label, Beauty Marks Entertainment, and it's not easy. Being independent is not for the weak.
Oh gosh, let's get down to it.
Yeah, it's not, but I just loved, you know, her vision for what she had for the performance. And I love that she wanted to learn my routine.
Hello.
She wanted to do my actual dance, right? And so I thought that was just super cool. It was a really, really amazing experience. Yeah, really fun.
I feel like you don't understand. Seeing that first time ever, thinking it was so authentic and raw and just, it was just you being you. I mean, you didn't see it like, and it wasn't forced like, oh, the label told me to da-da-da-da, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah,
don't
I
be
love
shocked.
that.
I want to learn the dance too, word for word, bar for bar.
It's so good. I can teach you.
Oh, can you? So talking about being independent, how was it from the transition of being a major label and going into like, okay, this is my baby. I'm controlling every single thing in the ship. Because you did mention in the previous interview of like the T-Pain song.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to put it out there because he was oversaturated at the time, all of that stuff.
Yeah, he had already had a lot of songs on radio. Love T-Pain though. I just want to make that very clear. I think T-Pain's amazing, but every feature I've done in my career was like, you know, I was very intentional about the timing and the artists that I work with. And so I was excited to work with T-Pain. It just wasn't quite the step that I had in my release rollout. But being signed to major labels, you know, versus being independent, there's a huge difference in reference to just simply being able to say, this is what I want to do, and I do it. When I was signed to a label, I would say, this is what I want to do, and I have to fight for it if they didn't agree. Right? So I always fought for my vision, right? It wasn't like, you tell me what I'm going to do every step, and I do everything every step, because if I did that, I wouldn't be who I am today. But there were certain fights like those that it was like, okay, I'm playing this game of like trying to work together as a team, but the reality is that when I win, everyone wins. When I lose by myself. And that's the reality in my industry, and in particularly when you're signed to majors. So I learned that concept, you know, rather quickly along my way. And it was, you know, a hard lesson, but it also made me say, I'll never again do something that I don't want to do. I actually maybe had like one other time where I recorded a song. The song actually ended up like not being the best song for me, but it was kind of all in that same time frame.
What
but it's
song?
like, I'm not saying that.
Okay, whisper to me. I want to know.
You know, it was a song that I had. It was more so the style of song that I was doing, and I was like, the song felt like it was a repeat of what I'd already done. And so it made me feel like people weren't understanding why I was who I was to that point. Even though they inherited me, because remember, when I signed to Jive Records, that wasn't where I was originally signed to. I was signed to Arista Records, okay? And then L.A. Reid and the whole regime ended up being moved out. They went to Universal. It was like a changing of the guards. Artists like myself and Pink and other artists on the roster all had to go over to either RCA or Jive.
Okay.
So I was inherited, right? So there was this thing that wasn't supernatural in my relationship with the label. So I had to kind of like maneuver through that. They didn't necessarily truly understand the why in me as an artist.
Really?
You know, like when LA signed me, he knew like exactly who I was.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's something you can't necessarily explain as much rather than just like feel and know. Like he understood my style of artistry.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of go in this new system and like I had to re-audition again, right? This is before I put out goodies. And so there was a whole process that I went through. Being signed to the majors versus being independent, there is a difference. I think you also get a chance to reap the full benefits of your labor more so than when you're signed to a label. The way the deals are often structured, labels are starting to adjust a little bit now, but it's still like
has
not
a
in the
little-
most favor for the artist, from my perspective. But when you're signed in the majors, depending on your agreement, which most of our agreements were not the best in the beginning, there's a process that you go through from recouping. You're out here busting your butt. I mean, you are grinding hard, right? For every little cent you can get, but it takes you to get to a certain point to even get a little fraction of like what you're making in the system.
Exactly.
So I don't want to get too technical, but you know, there's definitely been a learning curve along the way. But most importantly, just simply being able to express myself how I feel. In my chapter of independence, I have a very great relationship with my core team. And there's a cohesion that we have together where I feel like we're really moving as one. Like it's so raw and so connected. There's no game of politics.
Yeah. It's
Right?
just you.
Yeah, and that makes a difference because we gotta live in this thing.
We do.
I think often in my world, more often than not, I see a lot of my people lose it, right? And I think there's also like this thing where it's like anything for success, but oftentimes you're not living in the process.
Yeah.
And I feel like my core team, I get to live. Like we are so greatly connected.
You're creating music, you're creating your vision, what you want.
Yeah, and I get to move when I want to move. I don't have to go to the chain of like approvals.
Yeah.
This group gotta like it. This group don't like it. Now we're in the room talking about why you like it, why you don't like
Then
it.
the marketing.
And then we gotta have the CEO come and say if he like it, and if we want to spend money on it. And then if he don't like it, they don't spend money on it. Then I invest my own money in it, and then I gamble. And then maybe I win, maybe I don't. But the chances of like the push are hard. Songs like Promise, I was told that was the worst R&B record.
What?
Yeah, told.
No.
The CEO at the time.
Open my heart, give that.
Yep.
No.
Came to my rehearsal hall, and I was getting ready for the Evolution tour, and I'll never forget. Like he listened to the record, he's like,
What?
he's like, didn't really get it. And Polo produced that record, and I remember going like, he don't get it, right? And we actually strategically leaked that record. Polo did.
Yeah.
We did, but I let him do. I was fine with it. But I'm glad we did because we knew that the record was going to be a special record for me, right? So there's those moments when you know, and you just gotta act on it. And maybe you might not get it right, but when you do, right? And that was my #1 album, right?
Wow.
As a result of the beginning of that whole era, so.
Promise is actually an iconic song. Like the video, everything about it, like, what?
Yeah.
That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, in a sense, you being a black woman kind of played a part, like you being dismissed?
So, it's funny. But when I was younger, there was a little bit of a naiveness that I had. Or I was naive, and I think to my benefit, because when I would walk into rooms, I didn't realize how much the rooms weren't for me or were against me, or what I had in the makings of me were gonna work against me or not work for me. I had no idea. I just had a vision, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. I was very headstrong. I've always been headstrong since day one. Very stubborn, very bullish, very adamant about who I was. And I'm so glad that I wasn't thinking about those things when I walked into rooms, because if I did, I would have really gotten in my way. And I don't think I would be at this point, right? And so I've always been that girl where I believe that I'm not limited by the color of my skin. I'm not limited by my gender. But again, not realizing that those things were not working for me sometimes. So I think that sometimes you have to approach life that way. Don't think too much about the things that really don't matter. Think about any great, male or female, but really female, we'll focus, because that's, very important for us as women, but that has achieved or reached high heights. They believed in their vision.
Yep.
They may have faced opposition, but they stayed committed to it and they got there. So I think of my journey and I see it that way. I'm not where I want to be in my life and my career right now, to be honest with you. My life, let me say, I feel very blessed, okay? I do feel grateful that I wake up to my love, Russ, and our babies. That, for me, has filled my cup up in such a great way that it's God, you're so good. I see the presence and the power of God through the love in my house.
Oh,
but from a career and business perspective, there's a lot that I haven't done that I want to do.
You do that quote.
I think it'd be amazing for me to keep rolling with 10 to 1, and eventually, we reach the highest height. I have my skincare line, OAM, which stands for On a Mission. I want to continue to figure out how I'm going to evolve and grow that baby. I have some really amazing things I've been working on in that world. So just sorting through that and what that looks like. And I would say musically, I got to do a world tour. I haven't done that, yet. I've done big tours in the States, but I've yet to do the whole connection from the US to Europe, which is crazy because my first album, Goodies, came out 21 years ago.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and so, there's things like that I want to do, and I have some business goals. I'm still envisioning them, because then, like I said to you from the beginning, I'm going to write those things down. I'm going to speak life into those things.
100%.
But yeah, there's still some things that I haven't done that I want to do. I just think we have to continue as women, especially, also someone of color. We cannot think that we're limited by the makings of us. The makings of us is a special sauce. That's what actually sets us apart in rooms, right? So it's just a reminder of knowing that, right? If you believe in your vision, go for it, right?
Yeah.
Be committed to it, because if it's right, it will work.
I needed to hear that too.
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to happen at the perfect time for you.
No, actually.
Yeah.
Guys, so this is my playlist, cuts over charts, and me and CiCi gonna pick our favorite album deep dive track. And I did on the playlist, so you wanna go first?
Yeah, so the song that I would say cuts over hits. This is a song that I actually fought for, and my label would not let me do it. And I swear, I think this song would have been a bop. It's High Price. Yeah.
And you didn't do a video?
I did get to do a video to it. Had a crazy performance that we were working on for it.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when I did Go Girl.
I actually love Go Girl as well.
It's a good song.
It's a good song.
It is.
It's underrated as well.
It's a really good song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
My one.
I was just the 26th person in line with the song, with my feature.
Fair
But
enough.
I love T-Pain. It was just timing. T-Pain had already blessed the world with so many hits. It was like,
God
here
damn.
comes another one. It's like, we don't got
Another
no
one.
space for this song, you know?
No, it does need space, and
Yeah.
it will have space because that's my bop.
Yeah, it's a good one.
My song, you're gonna be shocked.
What?
It's the intro. Basic Instinct.
Oh, you like that one.
I have a big problem with you, actually.
What?
Why is the video not on YouTube no more?
I don't know. We need to check on that.
No,
It should be on there.
because I love that song. Like,
That's a Sony thing. See, in my role where I'm running it, you know.
no, because
We
I
can have it
literally
up.
search it up and
Okay, well that's a good
that's
note.
my
Noted. We need to call Sony and let them know.
please.
Hi guys, I'm Anu. I'm a content creator, talk show host, and a presenter / interviewer. Before I ask the question, I just want to say you really changed my life with your interview with Mimi just now. I felt like God was speaking to me through you, especially when you're talking about running your race and keeping the faith.
Yeah.
I think as an upcoming presenter, it can be really easy to compare yourself to people that are already established. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for that.
I really love that. That makes me so happy to hear.
Good,
It's
I'm
so
glad.
true. Run your own race at your own pace.
I will. And my question is there been a defining moment for you when you realized your life has been changed forever?
My life has been changed forever. Oh my gosh. I could get emotional. I would say the defining moment where my life was changed forever was when I gave birth to my firstborn. Yeah. My life was changed forever. And then I would say meeting the love of my life. My life was changed forever.
I love that for you.
That was really sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I give you a hug?
We did it, guys. That was Thank You, my new series on YouTube. My first guest, Ciara. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Thank you, guys. And yeah.